What's up, everybody? And that intro can only mean one thing. It means we are here for some TNA Wrestling, our live watch along every Thursday here on the channel. And there's a lot going on right now. There's football season. If you're like me, you probably joined one of these fantasy football leagues way too late, as in yesterday for me. But there's a lot going on. College football, even though I don't really want to talk about the first week of the season. We won't talk about who Clemson played and looked like varsity versus JV. But anyway, um, we are here, and I'm honored this evening. Joe won't be able to join us this evening, but I'm honored to be joined by these two guys that I'm about to bring on screen right now. And we'll start at the bottom of the screen here with Chris. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Glad to have you on board for a TNA watch along. I know you. We talked about this a little bit before we started, but you've been watching again for a couple months, and just give us your thoughts on what you've seen since you've been watching again.
I've absolutely been loving it. The storylines are great. Some character work they have. The wrestling is awesome. Yeah, TNA's doing great stuff. I've been missing out not watching the last few years. It sounds like.
Yeah, they've really been doing a great job the last several years. Just really glad that more people are watching now. Hopefully that continues to trend upward. Uh, and listen, we always shout him out. He's always showing love. But glad to be joined by my brother over here, Conrad from Everything Pro Wrestling. Conrad, how are you this evening, my brother?
It's been far, far too long because I've
Yeah, man.
appeared on the channel. But what is going on? Shout out to the chat, man. I see the chat showing love. I was trying to keep it a little secret, acting like I usually do in the chat. So, what's going on?
Yeah, man. Good to have you here. Like you said, man, it's been a long time. What are your thoughts on what you've seen from TNA the last little bit, and just where you think everything's headed?
I have mixed feelings with TNA currently. It's a little bit of like I'm happy they're doing well. It's always a good thing to see wrestling thrive, not just one company, not just two. You want to see everybody thrive because I think that's very, very important because these good times aren't going to always last. With like the highest ticket rates, everyone can go everywhere, and wrestling's happening. But at the same time, I do have some fears for TNA as well, but they could just be me projecting fears. We're gonna have to wait and see.
We talked about that a little bit before the stream too, and I do have some fears. I do want to mention this. The Knockouts division has taken another severe loss, I believe. Giselle Shaw is no longer with TNA. I'm not sure if everyone's heard that. If not, that was confirmed. But she is no longer there. She asked for her release, and she was granted said release. So I'll say that I feel like if you look at the Knockouts division this year compared to last year, I think there are a lot of reasons why it's not as dynamic as it has been. And I think some of that is just due to injuries and life and a lot of other things. But um, I I just hope that they start to really focus on bringing in some talent from the independents and seeing who else they can maybe push into some stardom. I'll start with Conrad. What do you think about that?
I believe Gail Kim recently talked about looking for more talent. That's a good thing. The crazy part is the heir apparents aren't there anymore. Like we know kind of what their fate is. Listen, spoiler alert, anyone who doesn't know, Jordynne Grace is probably leaving. The getting rid of OnlyFans should be a big sign to people that she's out of here. That's one foot out the door. When they do stuff, who knows? Maybe they let her stay a couple extra months. I'm not saying that couldn't happen, but the hourglass is flipped, and we're just watching the time run out. Giselle Shaw was the next person who I thought would be in line after Jordynne Grace to take over, but apparently that's not the direction we're going anymore. And Giselle Shaw does have a relationship with Scott D'Amore. Maple Leaf Pro is starting up. I would be curious to get your thoughts on that too, Jeff. Remind me to bring that up about Maple Leaf Pro. But yeah, I think they're just going to have to get out there, scout, and find some new people. You've got Macklin. You've got people who are going to stick around. But the question is, who are you going to have after them?
Right. I agree. Chris, I guess my question is, for folks like us who've been seeing it for a couple years, it feels like a little bit of a drop off. But for someone who's just getting back into it, what are your thoughts on the Knockouts division, and how do you think it ranks up against some of the other women's divisions across wrestling?
I think it's really good from what I have seen. Obviously, Jordynne Grace is just a beast. Like, she just tears everybody up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy the stuff I've seen. I really like the stuff, the crossover stuff with NXT. You know, seeing Rosemary on NXT and stuff's really cool. And yeah, I'm loving it. I think that the whole thing with NXT has been really good for TNA, just to get more eyes on the product and people learning about these wrestlers that they may not have known before.
Yeah. I agree. I think that it's been well done. I do share some of Conrad's concerns, because you've got people that are so over right now and so undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a company like WWE, when they see that, they start backing up that Brinks truck and trying to sweeten that deal. Yeah, for real. So that's just what it is. I mean, when your star shines bright, no matter where it shines, a company like that will find you. And with TNA having the relationship that they do right now with WWE through all the stuff we're seeing with NXT, um, I mean, they have a front row seat. They see exactly how it's affecting their ratings and how the crowds are reacting to it. So it's like, hey, if I can get that person on my roster and get my machine behind them and get out all this merch and everything, how much is that going to bring me? So
hopefully, I'm hoping that even in spite of that, can still help TNA out, and they can still keep bringing up talent, and that relationship could still be a good thing, even in spite of they may lose a few people. But
yeah, and I will say, I mean, my goodness, TNA has been going on, I think, probably, what would you say, Conrad? 15 years longer than most people thought it'd be around?
Longer. 20.
So they're resilient, to say the very least, and they find a way to hit that next wave, whatever that next wave may be. They seem to always find a way to survive and thrive. So, oh wow, I didn't realize that. So James Chadwick saying congratulations to Killer Kelly and Myron Reed on expecting their first child. So that's where Killer Kelly is, folks. If you were wondering, she is with child. So congratulations to her and Myron Reed. That's awesome. So, because the show, like we said last week, we're gonna start the show at the top of the hour. So we'll start right at 8 o'clock with the stream. So because of that, we're gonna have to change how we do things a little bit. But there's the card real quick. I just want to, I'll make it bigger here so other people can see it and so we can chat about it real quick. But we'll start with Chris this time. Chris, is there a match or something here on the card that intrigues you most?
I actually am really digging Zachary Wentz, from seeing all the stuff he's been doing on NXT, and that X Division match was awesome. I really like him, so I'm anxious to see more about what's going to happen with him. I thought that was so cool that he brought the X Division Championship to NXT.
Yeah, that was awesome. And it will be interesting to see what happens there, and if we get an appearance from Wes Lee at all. I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm expecting backlash at some point from him.
Yeah, I could see him showing up. Conrad, anything that stands out to you?
I'm interested to see the ascent of Mike Santana.
Yeah.
I just want to see what they're going to do with him, because it's an interesting process to watch him. I feel like he's in his Matt Cardona phase, if this makes sense, Jeff. When Matt Cardona first left WWE and went to hit the indie scene, he didn't get where he was at first. Like, he was still kind of his old self, but we didn't see anything new. And I feel like Mike Santana's in that phase right now. Like, he's got to discover himself and what makes you Mike Santana. Why are you special? Why should people put the $5 down, the 10, the 20 to come see you wrestle? And I think he's trying to piece it together, but it's kind of a beautiful thing to watch at the same time where you're like, okay, try it, go for it.
Yeah, it's like each week you see a new layer.
Yes,
and I'm digging that. It's like he's finding himself again, which I really really admire and appreciate from what he's done so far in TNA. So real quick, because it wouldn't be a Thursday night watch along without doing this. Shout out in the chat. What'd you have to eat? It could any meal of the day. Just let us know what'd you have to eat. I'll start out with Conrad. Conrad, what did you have today that you would like to mention to everyone here?
I just had a little spaghetti earlier. Not my favorite dish, I'll tell people. Just because I ate a lot of it as a kid growing up. When you got a big family, that's what you're gonna eat. But we had some spaghetti, and as Jeff saw in pre-production, washed it down with a nice protein shake. Had to get that down after a workout, so trying to recover.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Chris, what about you, man? What'd you have good today?
Mine was super simple. I had some frozen burritos.
Okay. There you go. There you go. I had Chili's, just way too much of it, because I was just that hungry. But I had some like their barbecue platter thing. It was
I knew as soon as you said the and I was like, barbecue platter. Yep. I know he got
it. you know me, man. As a Southern boy, I got to get barbecue. I at least got to give it a try. If it's on your menu, I got to see. So, but yeah, we're starting off here. They're just showing a recap of last week, showing Zachary Wentz after he won the X Division title. And before I keep going, I want to shout out everyone in the chat. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We greatly appreciate it. If you don't mind, because I know I'll forget to do this later on, if you don't mind, drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, first off, welcome. Second, consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that post notification bell so you know when we have future content. So if you don't mind doing us a favor and hitting that like button, that's the important piece. We want to see the likes go up. Sounds like you all are having some good food. We got Pizza Hut, Panda Express, chicken nuggets. Can't go wrong with chicken nuggets. Ever done fried spaghetti? Bonus baby saying, ever done fried spaghetti? It goes hard with a spot of syrup in the morning.
That's a strange combo.
That's a combo right there. That's a combo. Yeah, VJM Live Chili's baby back ribs. Yep, I was thinking about my son because I showed them the old school commercial, and they my kids just started singing it going around the house. So funny stuff. But that I'm thinking about that combination still.
Sipping on that scissor.
There you go. And man, I gotta say this too. Rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan, who passed away earlier today. 34 years old, I believe. So keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers, if you don't mind. Andrew saying, Hassan, what's up? Andrew saying cheeseburger and fries. Terrence saying buffalo chicken sliders, potato wedges, mac and cheese. That's good right there. Hassan had a pizza and salad. Bonus baby saying, where exactly are the nuggets on a chicken?
You never mind that.
Yeah. Fried spaghetti is a Canadian thing. Okay. Yeah, I need to update that. Thank you. Thank you, James. I will remove that. All right. So the system is kicking off the show. Chris, the system. I mean, they've been having some pretty rough moments lately, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been kind of rough. I mean, Conrad, I still say you can't trust JDC, man.
No.
Never. Been watching
Yeah.
him since he was ballroom dancing.
Yep.
Never trust Johnny Curtis.
That's right. A person with feet that fleet, you can't really. I mean, they're gonna do something. Got to watch out for them. So, yeah. Folks talking about.
They got Alicia in the neck brace.
Yeah, she got injured. I was reading at Emergence.
Nasty injury.
Yeah. She was out, right?
Yeah, no. Tommy Dreamer eventually just picked her up and took her backstage.
Okay. So. Yeah, I thought she was like out. Like it wasn't there. That wasn't selling. That was out.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Lish has the mic. Fans are not sympathetic that she's injured right now, by the way.
No.
Asking the crowd, do you want to know something?
My man in the Dolphins hat going in.
He is, man. He was giving her that kid is giving her the business too.
Yeah.
That kid is like, hey,
the system eats
a long way.
That kid is like, man, give somebody else the microphone. You know it's bad when you give Eddie the microphone and people accept that a little bit better with how he's been booed over the last year. Talking about what the fans are chanting, saying system failure. All the system needed was a nice little reboot. Saying it's time. Eddie's saying it's time for them to get back their championship gold. So, see what Brian Myers, the most professional wrestler, has to say. I always have to say that because I know he's a heel, so he doesn't want to get put over in this way. But dude was cool as heck, man. Like when I met him at Bound for Glory, he was cool as heck. So, shout out to him. But I love what he's doing in TNA. Really enjoy his work.
Yeah, he was always, you know how you do the comparison of the tag teams thing, like who's your favorite Steiner brother, Rick or Scott?
Mm-hmm.
Out of the major brothers, I was always more of a Kurt Hawkins fan. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, he's so good in the ring, and when he gets the opportunities, he's so good with on the microphone and with his promos. And let's see what JDC has to say. Let's see what some bull jive he's got to say. He says, "Shut up, town." He can't even be bothered to know the name of the town.
Can't even say Louisville.
And just hands the microphone to Moose. Moose telling everybody to shut the hell up. I mean, not many folks are gonna tell Moose, "Hey, man, how about you shut up?"
Listen, it's not easy to rock those throwback shirts.
No.
They look like they're at a family barbecue.
Yep. All right, so he got bad news. Okay.
Shout out to Bad News Barry.
Yeah. So so we do a question of the week, right? I want to throw this question out. Of TNA's current roster, which wrestler could you see fitting best in the Attitude Era? I know that's a wild question, but
Yeah, it is.
I'm thinking here.
Honestly, I'd probably say PCO. I could definitely see him fitting in the Attitude Era.
well, he was there. I mean, that's the crazy thing. He's still going.
Yeah.
But I think, I think maybe more what you're saying, seeing him and what he's kind of doing now and some of the hardcore stuff, but just a little earlier in his career.
Right. Yeah, that character and stuff he's doing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna ride with the chat here. I'm gonna go with Sami Callihan.
Sami Callihan.
Yeah, he just screams old school. I'm gonna beat you up.
Yeah. See, I'm going to go with what Barry Monkey says. Macklin.
Mhm.
I think Macklin would have been good back in the day.
He could have used that military run as a gimmick. He would have definitely.
He would have been so over with that. Alicia saying she doesn't need to defend the title once in 30 days. That's it. She's under concussion protocol.
I'd be talking like that if I had Masha behind me too.
Yeah. You could talk that talk with Masha behind you. Spitfire coming down. Bonus Baby saying 4-time champion. Is Moose still counting that run when he stole the TNA title as a legit run? Yes, because that's Moose. That's a very Moose thing to do, Bonus Baby. He's just that dude. Danny Luna. Saying your team lost. So I think, do you think the title changes hands at Victory Road? Conrad, we'll start with you and then go to Chris.
Which championship are we referring
The
to?
TNA Knockouts tag division.
I feel like I've been wrong on this a lot lately because I feel like they should have changed already. I'm gonna say yes. I'll stick with my normal wrong self. I'm gonna say yes. My heart's telling me new knockout tag team champions here.
Conrad is that and is picking against Trey Miguel for that stretch. We were all struggling with that. We pick against Trey Miguel because it's like, man, it makes sense. He's been doing this thing too long, and then he just wins again. So
every time.
Chris, yeah. Chris, do you think it's time for the system for Alicia and Masha to drop those titles to Spitfire?
Yeah, I agree with Conrad. I surprised they hadn't already. I expected it, previously. It was surprised they didn't. So yeah, I think it's definitely coming.
Yeah, I think it's time, guys. I do. something tells me that the system is going to continue to malfunction. Let's say one of James Chadwick's favorite people, Gia Miller, uh, interviewing Eric Young backstage, who has a very interesting matchup this evening against Jake something. Talking about him getting one over on him. Saying big dude. Yeah, that's Jake something is just massive. All right. I feel like Eric Young is just I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I feel like he doesn't really get the credit he deserves at times.
Nah, he's got big cojones, I think, for walking out on a company that was paying him a lot of money for his
Yeah.
beliefs.
Yeah. I mean, selfishly as a fan of the storyline over there, I would have loved to see him be a part of it, but shout out to him for standing his ground and being like, "No, I got to get out of here. I got to be me. I got to be true to me." So, shout out to him. Bonus baby, throwing out compliments in the chat. DM saying Macklin is the underdog. Got it. Yep, he's awesome. I love Macklin. Um, Andrew saying first Hammerstone, now Jake something. Yeah, I don't know who Eric Young made upset in the back, but they just been feeding him to all these behemoths. I thought the Hammerstone match was pretty good though. I enjoyed that. James saying EY will forever be goated for that. John Kessler saying EY is great for TNA and can't wait until he is inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. Speaking of that, here's another question. A less wild question. Who gets into the TNA Hall of Fame this year? Just throw out some names, Chad and Conrad and Chris. Just throw out some names of who you think may get in.
They're still only inducting one inductee, right? Have they done multiple yet?
I think they did 2 a couple years ago.
Okay.
But it may still just be the one.
Chat's yelling out the 2 names who I think then.
Yeah.
I say Motor City Machine Guns, and if you got to do AJ, get AJ for one time and have AJ have a match on that show.
Yep.
That would be cool.
Yep. Yeah, that's if you're gonna put 2 in, I think with it being where it's going to be, the Motor City Machine Guns make a ton of sense. And the fact that you have this relationship with WWE wherever it goes, I would say, hey, we've done a lot of back scratching. It'd be really nice if you scratched ours, a little bit more with AJ Styles for at least one night, one more Slammiversary, one more Bound for Glory, something. Even if he came out and was inducted at Bound for Glory and they tease a match at Slammiversary, I think that'd be awesome. And that was his final TNA match ever.
Bonus, baby.
What?
He said, no cap, I will ugly cry if AJ Styles walks out.
Oh man,
like
that's
a real possibility considering their relationship. And plus, well, haven't there been a couple WWE female wrestlers that have wrestled in some other promotions in the last few months?
Yeah. Shayna's done Bloodsport a couple times, I believe.
Is AJ? I wouldn't be surprised if AJ's contract's up too. I think the last one he signed was a 5-year deal. That was 2019. All those
Yeah,
deals
he's
are
been absent lately too.
Yeah. I know he's probably in the wind down part for sure.
Yeah, I would even love it if they could get like Joe and Daniels or someone to go over there with him to either team with them or do
Yeah.
something with them.
Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be fitting with it being one of those guys just giving everything that they did back in the day as the originals to put the company where they did and do some of the I still watch some of the DVDs that I have of those guys. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and Motor City Machine Guns easily. Like they definitely deserve it. Both had singles world title runs, one of the best tag teams. I think they're probably two of the most underappreciated talents, if that means anything to someone when you say that, but they deserve a lot more.
Yeah. Now we're getting a flashback of when JBL showed up at the end of Emergence to have a conversation there with Nick Nemeth after he retained his TNA World Championship. Matt Raywalt talking about you never know who's going to show up.
Yeah, that was really interesting to see.
Yeah. He's been making the rounds, I think, recently, showing up at some different shows and kind of doing the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Conrad?
Yeah. I believe he was in GCW as well recently. So
Yeah.
keep your eyes peeled for JBL.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go right into the action here with Kushida versus Laredo Kid. And this should be a fast paced, just a bunch of craziness, I'd say. Kushida coming down. I still think, do you think we ever get anything again with him and Gresham? Or is that other storyline kind of done for now, we think?
I was wondering that too. I thought that storyline was kind of interesting, and it just seems like they just dropped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It feels like one of those. We'll see it on a countdown list on like what culture in the future, like 10 storylines in the last 10 years that TNA has dropped. And you'll just, what happened to the octopus goo?
Yeah.
But maybe it comes up here. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so. I feel like they had something with that with Gresham. I felt like it was something that was I felt like Gresham needed it at the moment. So that's why it was interesting for them to kind of just all of a sudden 1 week through a match graphic say that he wasn't doing that for that week. So man. All right, here we go. Laredo Kid and Kushida. Chat, let us know, who do you have in this match? Who's your pick to win? Kushida or Laredo Kid? So, Chris, had you seen a lot of Kushida or Laredo Kid before tuning back into TNA?
I've not seen much of Laredo Kid. I've seen a bit of Kushida. I saw him a lot in NXT, and then I've seen him a little bit here in TNA also, but not much of Laredo Kid.
Gotcha. What do you think, Chris, of the X division?
I think it's really cool. I like that match that they had at Emergence. I've never seen anything like that.
The Ultimate X?
Yeah, Ultimate X match. I've never seen that before. That was
Yeah,
really neat. It was a different take on it's like a ladder match, but without the ladder.
Right. Yeah, it's a cool match, man. It's a really cool match. Conrad, what do you think about the evolution of the X division going from where it started to where it is today?
I think it's back in a better place than it was. Honestly, if you're asking me like my favorite division in TNA right now, it's probably the X division itself. Like I think they're just firing on all cylinders. You never really get a bad match. You can mix any of the guys up and they're going to produce. And there's a unique bunch of styles. Kushida's like a submission wrestler. Laredo Kid's a high flyer. You got Zachary Wentz, who's like a tag team wrestler, but he's also a singles champion right now. You can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I'm going to be a little selfish right now and say one person that I miss terribly in the X division is Rohit.
Yeah. What's Rohit up to?
I don't know. I don't know, and that's I haven't seen much of an update recently. Part of that is just because I've work is crazy and everything else, but I haven't seen much of an update.
I hope that they can work something out.
Josh Alexander just came down to C4 Spike Laredo Kid, and now he's attacking Kushida.
Why, Josh? Why?
I know, man. You got the ankle lock on Kushida now. He has snapped.
Yeah.
He has snapped. Yeah, Lil Silver saying this Tuesday, first time ever in WWE history, the TNA Knockouts World Championship will be defended on NXT in an open challenge by Jordynne Grace. And I will be joining, I believe, Tazzy on Tuesday on his channel for that watch along. So come out and see Tazzy on his channel on Tuesday for the NXT watch along.
So NXT looks stacked.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's stacked, man. Josh really leaning into this heel. Kushida and Josh 1-on-1 right now. I mean, I'll take that. I'm okay with that. But of course, Josh is going to be like, no. Kushida runs up the ramp though and gives him a drop kick. He's like, "You're gonna come down here one way or
drag him
another."
to the ring and make him fight.
Yeah, make him. Heather saying last time I saw Rohit, he was wrestling for Alpha One in Canada. Okay.
Makes you wonder about that Maple Leaf Pro. I'm telling you, a lot of people been popping back up.
Yeah. Oh, Heather, I don't think that's a tinfoil hat theory, though.
I like it.
I could actually see that happening. So for those who do not see the comment, Heather is saying tinfoil hat theory. Josh works into the X division again so he can win the belt, cash in his option C on Nick Nemeth. What do we feel about that theory? I've shared my thoughts, Conrad, and then we'll go to Chris.
I think it's genius. I love option C. It's always a good way to get someone in the mix, and I think people forget sometimes what the plan is with it. So, Heather, I would say put away that tinfoil hat. This sounds like good detective work.
I agree. Chris, what do you think, man?
I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
So option C is the X Division champion can essentially cash in their title to get a shot at the world title.
Oh, so it's kind of like Money in the Bank.
Kind of like that. Just they can continue to defend their belt or cash it in for option C.
And they can do that at any time.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Lil Silver, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Talking about the news of Giselle Shaw. Yeah, she will definitely be missed. We talked about no pun intended, but the impact that loss on the roster will have. Yeah, I feel like it definitely it doesn't make the division stronger. I can say that, but I think with Maple Leaf Pro, I mean, again, I think a lot of people have a lot of respect for Scott D'Amore and his vision in wrestling, I believe. So I think there's going to be an opportunity for us as fans to see some bigger names than maybe we anticipate ending up in Maple Leaf Pro. I know Conrad wanted to talk about it earlier, so I guess since we're in a break right now is probably a good time to chat about it, Conrad. So go ahead.
So I just want to know what you guys thought of the Maple Leaf Pro as a whole, because I feel like it's another company that could be on par with like TNA and MLW and such. They got the Triller TV deal. That's pretty cool. They've got 2 big cards already lined up. They got Konosuke Takeshita coming in from AEW. You've got Josh Alexander from TNA. They're pulling names out the hat. And I'm like, they're doing a good job with this. And they have Mauro Ranallo and Don Callis as the commentary team. This isn't like little moves. These are big time moves.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. I mean, that's the thing. I think it's definitely the draw of Scott D'Amore. Do you think that's probably one of the reasons why we're seeing them like in this light, and the fact that even before we see a show, we're already saying that they could be on that level?
I think his interviews with Chris Van Vliet were calculated.
Mm-hmm.
I think he came out and he said some things that I agreed with the whole, like, I know a lot of people are like, the WWE partnership is perfect. I kind of liked what he said about the AEW thing too, though. I'm like, people forget kind of quickly, like, they gave you their world champion. They gave you like one of the best. I don't know if he had promised that to Scott or Don or whomever, but Omega over there was great while it happened, while it lasted. And I thought it was cool that they had Christian and stuff. Could it have been done better? Absolutely. But also people forget the era that it was in.
Yeah.
How things were done. They had to kind of make more with less. So
Yeah.
I like Scott D'Amore a lot. And I think there's people who believe in Scott D'Amore's vision for TNA, but I haven't seen really too many TNA fans waver away from the product because he's gone.
Yeah. I really enjoyed what he did at an Impact in TNA, and his creativity and some of the storylines that they put on. I mean, and again, you think about the time that we're talking about, Conrad, and you could do the straight up wrestling stuff, but you had to do a little bit more. You had to throw in some comedy and throw in some different elements, and they were able to do that through Wrestle House and everything that they were doing with Swingers Palace and Johnny Bravo getting shot and all that stuff. I mean, there was just a lot of good stuff that came out of that. So I'm interested to see what happens. What happens there, and we're right back into a match. Kushida and Josh Alexander. So this is a match that honestly could be on a pay-per-view. I feel.
Yeah.
These two guys, I mean, they are tremendous at what they do. Kushida's trying to get that hoverboard lock. So Conrad, what do you think of Josh right now? What are you thinking about this new gimmick? And do you think it was needed?
It shocked me when he first turned, I'll say that. But I think it was needed for Josh just to get a different character in there. TNA is so unique in how they do things. Like, out of all the companies where I'm like trying to guess what's going to happen, everybody does the predictions. We all play what is it? Armchair quarterback. We're here like, I think this is what they should do. This is what's going to TNA. I can never get, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I never feel confident in my picks usually. Like, nah. They make moves happen. And when Josh turned, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? He's like one of their top faces of the company.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good move for him, though. I think that it's kind of given him a higher stock, if that makes any sense. Like, his value is up right now. So I like the move, and it could lead to many of things. I would love to see him and Ethan get back together. I need to see the North again, man. That was my team.
Man, I remember those first few watch-alongs, and Joe was fairly new to Impact, and we would see these classics with the machine guns in the North and the Good Brothers and the in the North. I mean, it was just that tag division then was just wild. I I would be even I'd be pleased with just an interaction, just a stare down. I'd be cool with that.
Let it happen.
Let it happen. That's right. Chris, what do you think of Josh's heel turn, and what do you think of his character right now?
I think it's really good. Again, I was shocked too. I like the surprises and things like that TNA does. You know, like he was saying, like Connor was saying, they do a good job pulling stuff out of nowhere. I like that. Sometimes wrestling can be a bit predictable, so it's nice when you get things that you don't expect to happen.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. James Chadwick saying, when Josh turned, I turned into Santino. You son of a gun. Yeah, I think it was well done, and I think it was needed because I mean, let's really be honest about it. Let's say you're the best at something, you're the top person, and for whatever reason, you have to go out. And now you come back and somebody else is in your spot and you don't even really get a chance until you have to become a jerk
Mm,
to get back what was yours. So, I mean, I think most people would feel the way that Josh feels right now.
mm-hmm.
They'd be hot. So, I mean, I think it's steeped in reality because I feel like maybe there's a little bit of that there. But I want to point out too, him and Nick Nemeth cooked last week.
Mm-hmm.
They cooked.
Oh yeah, that was a great match. You don't see Iron Man matches much anymore.
No, and I mean before that, even before that, that face off that they had
Mm-hmm.
last Thursday,
Yeah.
that got me into the match, and then you throw in an Iron Man match, and you
Mm-hmm.
get two guys that freaking talented. I mean, my
Oh,
goodness. Conrad, what did you think about the promo, the face off last week, that backstage segment that they had?
Lots happening. That's the best thing I could say with this company. Lots of movement happening. I love that there's nothing to predict. Like, I can't tell you where they're going with half of this stuff. We were just talking about like our insecurities, but at the same time, aren't you excited still, Jeff? Like, that's
Yeah,
my key with all of this. Like, yeah, we may be losing so and so, but who's gonna step up? Now you have a
right.
chance. Don't say you weren't given a chance.
Mm.
I'm interested to see what they can do with some of these folks on their roster.
Yeah.
Josh, Ash by Elegance is another one that I'll say. I know a lot of people have poo-pooed, we'll say for better terms, poo-pooed on her coming in and her character, but I would like to see her be given more opportunities. Give her something that she could sink her teeth into.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh picks up the win there with the C4 spike on Kushida, and letting the crowd know about it right now. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of possibility. And I think, like you said, Conrad, the fact that we have these concerns, we're getting something backstage here. It looks like Joe Hendry is trying to help out Kushida. They're saying they need medics. Josh Alexander coming back, and now Joe Hendry, it looks like, is going to confront him. Joe Hendry saying, I'll never forget what you did to me at Slammiversary. I think that's a seed planted for something down the line.
Oh yeah.
Jordynne Grace. Guys, what do you think of her reign? What do you think of her run? We'll start with Chris and then go to Conrad. But what do you think about how she's held the title and kind of taken on all challengers from any and everywhere? What do you think of her reign?
I think it's been great and completely dominant. I think it's cool that she's, will face anybody, don't even know who it is and stuff, and anybody could come out and challenge her, and she's beating everybody. Like, she's one of those, like, I have no idea who is going to ever dethrone her.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Chris. Like, she's kind of been the backbone of the division for the last couple of years. Reliable, put her out in the main event, she's going to deliver. She's come a long way from when she first got into TNA, from doing what she was doing. And like I said, I'm never upset when a wrestler's getting an opportunity to earn some more money and do something to better themselves. So good for her.
Oh, wow.
Do we get a Santino and Ariana Grace encounter at some point? I think we have to, right?
It wouldn't be right. The wrestling world would not have all the dots connected if you don't do it. Some of my God.
She's saying she has some exciting news. She's the new liaison between NXT and TNA. All right. She's introducing the challenger.
Oh,
All right.
Iron Petrovich. She even brought the sword.
Yes, she did. Heather saying, good grief, she has her dad's comedic chops.
Chip off the old block.
That's why I feel like we got to see some type of moment backstage. Yeah, Carmen Petrovic. All right. Oh, man. James saying this got spoiled for me again. We need TNA Live. I agree.
Same, James. Twitter is the worst when you refresh. Yeah.
Oh man.
I happened to just see the pictures and I was like, seriously, guys, you couldn't wait. Like, you just couldn't wait. Deanna, I've never heard that.
I've never heard that one either, but guess what? I'm using it. I'm stealing that one. She's truly a nut from the old sack. Jason saying, I like Jordynne's run. I think she's beaten everyone at TNA that she could. I think it's time for Jordynne to go to NXT and WWE full time. Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Jason, and chat. Let's say that our fears become reality and that she does leave. Who do you think is next up?
Oh, Rosemary watching.
Yeah, Rosemary is watching. So who do you think is next up? Chris, who do you think would be if Jordynne were to leave, let's say tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Right now she's dominating. I just hit that spine buster. Let's say she left tomorrow, Chris. who do you think in the knockouts division is prepared to kind of carry that mantle?
Ooh, I don't know. That's the thing. I feel like Jordynne is just on another level. I don't know
Yeah,
if there's anybody that's really on that level right now.
yeah,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
yeah. What about you, Conrad? What do you think?
I'm looking at the roster. As soon as you said it, I'm glad you didn't come to me first. Um, I think there's only one name that I see right now that I'm willing to put a little bit of a wager on. If I had to say who, I'm going to go with Masha Slamovich. Is who you start building around.
Yeah,
She didn't win that championship at first. I think there's a story to tell, even if it's in the short term. But I think the key for TNA is to have people show up and try to take those spots.
yeah, yeah. Heather agrees, and I think Masha finally gets a run if Jordynne left. Um, James saying I got a prediction on who answers Jordynne's NXT challenge debut of Delta. What do you do there though? How do you do that? James, how would you book it, James? And I'm gonna ask Conrad and Chris the same thing. Like how do you book that? And I'll start with Conrad.
I think you have Delta show up to answer the challenge. Number one, I think it's a great way to throw people off the scent because everyone was like, "Oh, it's Julia at NXT No Mercy," and I'm sure if Tazzy was here, he would say the same thing. Like, yeah, everybody knew it was Julia, but instead, I think now the next person everyone's waiting for. If you do a switcheroo with Delta, I think it'll end up being better than them just sitting around waiting and just trying to debut a bunch of people. So give Delta the opportunity and then maybe have someone else interfere, cost the match. Even if it was someone in TNA. Like I said, I told Jeff I would have sent Delta to TNA instead. Surprise people there too. Like,
Yeah,
okay, she's in TNA now. Or have her take the belt from Jordynne Grace. What would happen if you did it? It would be shocking. People would be surprised that they switched the championships.
yeah. Chris, how would you do it?
I'm echoing a couple people in the chat here. I'm not sure who Delta is. I've not heard of her.
So I'll let Conrad talk more about her, but she's a huge free agent that is signed with NXT. Um, Probably one of the well, how where would you put her, Conrad? Top 5 on the women's side in terms of free agents at
Yeah.
that point?
Yeah, she's definitely top 5. She is from Australia, where Rhea Ripley's from, in one of the promotions out there. And Delta just has a look instantly when you see it, like, oh, this is different. Because I'm going to criticize NXT here for a second. NXT has a little bit of an issue, I feel, with people that have the similar look. Carmen, with all due respect, has that look. It's the blonde hair. They're very athletic. They can wrestle. That's not even the issue. It's just, okay, you all look the same. Delta's gonna come out there and you're gonna be like, oh, I get it. I get it. You're different. And she's gonna stand out instantly. So
Oh, I've definitely had that thought about NXT before. They have a lot of women I feel like that are very similar and can gotta get confusing between them and stuff. They get lost in the shuffle.
yeah. You know me, I'm all about Miss Parker. Hey, you need some more of that.
Hey, I will not disagree with you there. Will not disagree with you there. I'm trying to share this trying to share this photo. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she definitely got a different look.
Yeah. And I didn't want people to think that I'm poo-pooing on Carmen and them too much, but I think that they just have to think about their looks and how are you going to stand out and be different. There's 6 people who are athletic with blonde hair, and I feel like that spot belongs to Sol Ruka. So what are you guys going to do to stand out and be better than that? And that's because Sol Ruka's got the cool finish.
Right.
Soul Rose is awesome. I like her a lot.
Yeah, she does have a cool finish. Carmen getting in some offense. Well, she was until Jordynne Grace just caught that kick.
Jordynne said nope.
Uh-oh. This could be the beginning of the end. Up. Carmen fought out of it. She countered. Rosemary's very, very intrigued by this matchup, we'll say. Looking on rather intently. Yep, Conrad with another great point. Trey Williams right.
I don't know why he said that about Pete Dunne, but I was in tears because if you guys don't know, I used to rap, and when I hear bad lines sometimes, and we've all had them, trust me, I just laughed like, what?
Oh, crossbody for Carmen takes Jordynne down. Uh-oh, Jordynne catches her. Grace driver.
Oh,
Juggernaut driver. That's it. Wow. Again, dominant.
yep.
Dominant performance. And I think, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's just because I'm just a Jordynne Grace fan, but I feel like even in some of her matches where she has been extremely dominant, to Conrad's point, she's improved so much that even in a dominant performance, she still managed to make the other person look good at times during the match.
Oh, yeah.
Lights go out.
And it's nice to see a title defended a lot like this, too. She's
Right.
defended her title a ton.
Lights are out. Everybody's trying to figure out. Jordynne Grace is down. And Rosemary is
Pillow,
in
is
the
that
balcony laughing. What? A pillow.
Oh, what's the chick in NXT?
Wendy Chu.
Yeah, Wendy Chu.
Does she challenge her? That's interesting.
Hint.
I like Deanna's option too of Natalia. Natalia's been quiet since she re-signed.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I got to get off here and put my son to bed, but thanks for having me, guys. It was fun hanging out.
Yeah, thank you for being on, Chris. We greatly appreciate it, man. Good to see you.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, you guys too. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the show. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. All right. First Class and ABC backstage.
By the way, great pickup for First Class. I know that they have people out dealing with some stuff, but KC Navarro, if you've never seen,
oh man,
on the Indies, really good talent, really good,
very, very talented. Has been in Impact and TNA a handful of times before, but like Conrad said, just super talented, super talented. Man,
I'm digging this video package here too with ABC.
Yeah,
like the old school '90s like guts.
Yeah.
Do you have it?
What do you think of AJ Francis and how he's been since he's been in TNA? And do you think he's slowly overcoming the flop dollar thing?
No, that will forever be something that they make fun of him for until he
Yeah.
gets the fans over to love him.
Yeah.
But AJ Francis' best version of himself has been in TNA. They have figured out how to use him and make him right. And I do like that he's got this entourage with him now. He's the big football player, but he's also the bully. But he also could be made the butt of jokes. He's really good in what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree. He will never live down the flop dollar moniker because that lives forever. That clip will live forever.
It's
But,
like Super Bad, where the you peed your pants. That was in like first grade. People don't forget. It's that exact same thing. Like, yeah, they
Yep.
don't forget when you have an error. But listen, I know it's easy for us to get on here and talk about wrestling, especially me. You've wrestled. I've never done it, but when you come on here and talk about it, sometimes you're like, maybe his knee hurt on that jump. Like, let's just think for a second here.
Yeah,
Stuff happens.
Yeah, for a lot of people who don't understand the mechanics and all of that, it looks like, okay, how can you do that over the top rope? There's like 1,000,001 things that can happen between you running the ropes and hitting the ropes. And a lot of people don't understand it, and that's fine. And that's why I've gotten called out about it. But yes, I'm gonna support the wrestlers because it's difficult and there's a lot of work that goes into it. So yeah, it can be unforgiving at times because any wrestler, I mean, all wrestlers at some point or another, you're gonna have that moment. Whether it's your gear splitting down the seam, or falling over the top rope.
I was gonna say Eli Drake had brought that up the one time about, oh man, I just fell over the top rope. I'm gonna be on Botchamania, but then he said, you know what? I'm gonna fool them. I'm gonna do it again in the match, and then they're gonna know that I did it on purpose. Still was on Botchamania, but still funny.
Yep. So yeah, it's a part of it, but I think to your point, he's done such a great job and TNA has done such a great job with him in really finding his role and finding what he excels in. And I think he's done great. I really do. And again, the pickup of Casey Navarro cannot be understated.
They're giving him all the tools he needs. Jeff, you played sports as well. What's the best thing sports athletes are known for? If you're good at it. Some people are very humble, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know how many fights I've almost gotten into playing basketball, whatever the sport is. It could have been soccer for all I care. In like elementary school, people talk and run their yapper, and you're like, all right, enough. And that's what he's good at. So let him talk, but also so he doesn't have all the athletic skills, but Casey Navarro does.
Yep.
Let him do the athletic stuff. Let him talk. That's a possible tag team championship reign right there. Yeah. I know AJ held the digital media, but I think they could be tag champs.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I'll put it like this. It wouldn't surprise me if they ended up beating ABC for those titles. Would not surprise me one bit.
Well, if we were just talking about that conversation before, and Jeff knows I've been saying this for years, ABC could be two main eventers for you. Whether on opposite sides, both baby faces, both heels, they can do it all. Give these guys a chance and let them showcase their skills. And I know the fear of what's going to happen afterwards is someone's going to be there to try to scoop them up, but you say you put them on then.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think that's the risk you take when you have talented people like that. You can't suppress it. And I feel like, yeah, these guys are great as a tag team, but they're the future of the company, I feel.
Absolutely. They're the guys who I think they're past the tag team stuff. I mean, they're great. It's time though.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I think they're past that. Mark saying, Conrad, Jeff and I have talked about the possibility of what could happen when NXT goes to the CW. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think WWE and TNA are cooking up something and getting sharing and sharing CW with NXT. It's okay, Mark. We don't take off for spelling.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I have a lot of thoughts as to why things happen. Jeff knows that I will delve into conspiracy theories, which I think are reasonable, but I do think they're true based on past behaviors I like to look at. So this relationship serves as a twofold. It helps TNA because they're getting more exposure. More people are going to watch TNA.
Who was that?
You're ahead of me, so I'm a
You
little.
gotta tell me who that is. I caught like a glimpse of it. Is it? I'm wondering.
Don't play, because I've been wondering where she's gonna go, and she
Me
needs to
too.
be somewhere.
And this couldn't come at a better time if that's the case.
Uh-oh. Please be true. It stopped us in our tracks. Hold on here.
Yeah, it did. I'm sorry.
Hey. Come on. Boom, boom, boom. I'm waiting to see what you saw. Come on. What? Yes, that's definitely
That's her,
Xia
right?
Li. That's Xia Li, just because of the veil. I like it. Mortal Kombat feel here.
Yeah. That was awesome. Like you said, it stopped us in our tracks. And
I'll
folks
take
in
it.
the chat were like, "Holy bleep!" So
That's the replacement I was talking about. You're
yep.
gonna need people like that. So well done.
Yep, well done. Little Silver saying, "Go Gail Kim for recruiting." Yeah, I don't doubt her ability at all. I just hope that they, which I don't question this per se, but I think sometimes companies can be a little tight on the purse strings. Um, and I think if you're going to be losing people, you have to be willing to kind of fork over some of the dollars. So um, we've got Zach Wentz in the ring, and Speedball Mike Bailey is coming down, and he hasn't smiled once.
Yeah.
Hasn't smiled once. That's not like Speedball.
Yeah, I've heard some rumors about Speedball. I don't know what's gonna happen here. We'll see. Definitely gonna be interesting. Oh yeah, James, that was another good signing. Like I said, they're making moves here.
Mm-hmm.
Heather Reckless.
That's a good pickup too.
And Jeff, you've mentioned some of the indie folks in our area as well, who I think that they could look
Christina
at.
Marie being one.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I were running a wrestling company and someone gave me the pencil and the purse string, so to speak, she'd be one of the first people I'd sign.
Yeah. So if you're in the Northeast, you see her on the card, go check it out.
Yeah, for real. The good hands.
Never trust those guys. Never. I forgot what Mark had asked before. Now, where was it? Oh, the CW and everything.
Mm-hmm.
WWE and TNA's relationship. Sorry, it goes twofold, Mark, for me at least. They're getting something out of it. NXT has people coming up, so people are going to the shows now. There's more interest in TNA. That's a good thing. TNA, I would love for Axis to try to like join a bigger network, try to get them a bigger deal. I don't know what their plans are, but that's what I would like to see, even if it's on like CBS Sports. Get a bigger deal for yourself so that more people can watch this, because your product is really good. It's getting visibility on it. The other thing is, I think WWE is gaining something out of this, and there's a little deceit behind it too. Don't listen. AEW ain't just friends with New Japan for no reason. Hey, Okada, want to talk? How you doing? Will Ospreay want to talk? So it works both ways with those. The key is if they play nice afterwards. They've led wrestlers back out to them. So they're like, here, no, fix your stuff. But yeah, you can use Will Ospreay for Wrestle Kingdom. You can use Okada for Wrestle Kingdom. WWE's smart. When they're on top, what did they do with ECW, Jeff? They started funding ECW. Why did they do that? I'd rather have WCW having problems with them than having problems with me. And financially, I know you can't compete with me, so I'm going to help you.
Right.
AEW's on the downhill, and TNA's going like this. What happens when they meet? Now you guys can compete with each other for free agents. See ya, and we'll take whoever we want in the meantime, and the focus is off of us. So, just things to pay attention to. But right now, if I'm TNA, run the partnership out and do your thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always pluses and minuses with the partnerships like that, I think. And it's as unprecedented as it is for companies to work together like we've seen in recent years. It's always been a thing, especially back in the territory days when you had, big companies coming in town, coming in the backyard, and they see someone, they're going to scoop them up. They're going to find a way to get him on the show as as an enhancement, whatever, or some way, and then before you know it, he's doing more dates with them, and then he's signed.
That's all it takes, honestly.
That's it.
And I've heard some rumors that people might be interested in Speedball, so
yeah, doesn't surprise me.
He was putting on some match of the year contenders. Him and Ospreay, but just been churning them out. I put Josh Alexander up there too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Speedball, I think latter part of 2022 and all of 2023, all of his matches were must watch. And I think it still continues, but I just think that's when people really started paying attention a little bit more, and now they're seeing everything that it is that he can do.
Yes.
Crowd getting behind Speedball. He's trying to get the tag into Wentz, and he does. Wentz taking it to Jason Hotch. Sorry, John Schuyler. I'm looking for Hotch. I saw him go out of the ring and haven't seen him since.
Catching his breath.
There he is.
The Good Hands have a good, a great team. I just think that they need to be with someone who's going to elevate them a little bit, and they'll be great.
Yeah, because I actually like their gimmick and I like their work. I mean, you can't deny them in the ring. Both of them are talented as heck in the ring. But I like that they're kind of Weasley, and I feel like they need a manager to kind of go along with that and set them up and stuff and get them opportunities and have them kind of sneak one out.
Yeah, they need someone, even if it's just another wrestler. Like, you know who they'd be perfect with? Even like a Lexus King, Pillman Jr. Like, put them with him. But I don't know how far they would want something like that to go. Yeah. And that's another guy. If I'm TNA, I'd be like, I'll put a title on him. Sure. Bring him over here. I'll give him the Digital Media Championship.
Zachary Wentz.
So
and
good.
Speedball Mike Bailey. Pick up the win in that impromptu tag match.
Jeff, do you have any fears of Wesley coming back and possibly winning that X Division championship?
I do. But honestly, it's not really a fear because of
it's a want.
It's a want, honestly. Because man, like I enjoyed him in TNA. Steph DeLander backstage, the newly signed Steph DeLander.
Ooh.
I'm sure Derek might have something to say at some point, or many others will. But yeah, that's going to be up next. So going to another break now. Derek says, "Oh, you know I'm here." John Kessler saying CJ Perry would be great with the good hands.
You haven't seen what she's been up to.
Me either. I think that's John. I actually don't mind that. I actually like that idea. I mean, I think if you don't have another wrestler join them, I maybe this is just too far fetched, but you know who I want with him, Conrad?
Who you feeling?
Partially because I haven't seen the man all year. Johnny Swinger.
Nah, I miss Johnny Swinger. Is he still with the company?
He's still with the company as far as I know. But I want to see him doing something like it. If he's not going to be in ring all the time, kind of have him do that kind of
the sleazy manager gimmick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Christopher is saying, would you guys want to see Mandy Rose in TNA?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I think at this point, if you're TNA, you can look at things in a couple different ways. You could say that you're going to have the folks that are going to be there that are going to, buy into your system and stick around long term. And then you have your folks who might be looking at TNA as an opportunity at a second chance on a bigger stage. I think if you can afford those contracts, even if it's on a pay per appearance deal, you do it because ultimately it draws more eyes to your product. But then it also shows that you can be a pipeline too, which opens up the doors, I think, to other places. So I think as long as you're cycling in talent, that kind of approach doesn't hurt you, but you have to be very active in cycling in talent. What do you think about an approach like that, Conrad?
I like what you're saying. It's always what is it? It's like the foil prospects, LIFO, last in, first out, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you could definitely just find a way to get people involved. And I think that's the key with some of these companies. That's the benefit I think TNA has over the bigger companies is it's easy to get lost in the shuffle. I was going at it yesterday in my chat with some people about certain people like, oh, they should be getting a bigger push. I'm like, do you guys realize how many people you have just said in this conversation of who should be getting a bigger push in a company? You said 8 people. You can't do that. You're going to water it down. Pick a couple, and you got to make the most of the opportunities and the spots you are given. And sometimes if you look close enough, you can see the moment where you messed up. You could have had something there. It's good. Andrew is asking about Rosemary and Wendy Chu. I'm with it. I wouldn't even mind them as a tag team.
Same. Give me them as a tag team. I think that'd be awesome.
I haven't seen Havoc in a while either. There's just certain people that I'm like, where have they been?
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen her. Haven't really heard an update on her. I know Kylan King was out injured. But yeah, haven't really heard much on Havoc.
Right.
Savannah Evans is another.
Yeah.
That I haven't heard about in a while.
I'm not sure who John's referring to in the chat.
Certain person that was not present on Raw.
Copy that. There it goes. I saw it before because I was like, that's who I was thinking, but then I read something about Sami Callihan before, and I'm like, please don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Oh, Rosemary and Tatum Paxley.
Okay. Savannah Evans is on the roster still.
Mm-hmm. They're listed, but I just haven't seen them. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a recharge or.
And Sue Young is still on the roster.
Yeah, maybe she has dates to carry over.
Yeah. Barry Monkey saying he'd prefer Rosemary and Tatum Paxley. To be honest, we're getting a video package here for Rosemary. Talking about the Hive returning. Can we trust her? I like this. Talking about Wendy Chu here. Saying, can we trust her? Man.
Very, very interesting what they're
Very.
doing.
Steph DeLander coming down to the ring. Saying Cardona has been causing her a lot of issues recently. Telling Matt Cardona, we need to talk. Get out here.
Oh boy.
This should be interesting.
You think Cardona's getting picked up too? I saw his name. I know he bounces around from like TNA and all the indies, but
Yeah.
I'm curious to know if he ends up getting picked up soon. I know he said that he wants to kind of get ready to go back to a major promotion.
Yeah, I think so. I think this might be kind of his last kind of hurrah on a smaller scale. Barry Monkey saying, problem I have with Rosemary NXT at the moment is they aren't showing the best thing about Rosemary. Her character work, she's just wrestling and losing. Asking Matt what's going on, talking about their history together. Asking, why are you doing this to me?
Matt Cardona. Boo this man.
He said, I owe you an apology. He said, I'm sorry. He's sorry he didn't crash the wedding earlier. And he's sorry he let her marry that freak PCO. Oh boy. Oh, people in the crowd. You can always count on them to say something wild.
Yeah, they'll definitely always get wild in the world of wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think I would hear this as arson chance yesterday either. Man, I can't believe PCO is still doing it, man.
I know, man.
If you
And
guys
not
didn't know,
just
I used to watch him when I was like a little kid. Like me and my pops let me like stay up to watch Monday Night Raw, and I watched him win the tag titles from the Steiner brothers.
yeah.
I forgot what the match was called, but they had weird rules in it or something.
Not just doing it, Conrad, but doing the high spots, doing the stuff off the top rope and through tables and all the crazy, just wild matches that he does at this age.
PCO, good for him.
Matt Cardona bringing up all the things he's done and how he feels like he's helped Steph's career and brings up a contract that they both signed. She's talking about she appreciates it, but she worked hard too.
Yeah. Don't run her down. I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe PCO Cardona.
Mm. Mm. Oh, Matt. Uh-oh. That went on for long enough. And PCO is going to let him know that you don't talk to my woman that way.
Bride of Frankenstein style.
For real.
Heather called him a Neanderthal.
Yeah, he's going to get his behind kicked. This should be a good one coming up. Eric Young versus Jake something. Let us know in the chat who you got in this match that's coming up. And before I forget again, I'm going to do this. But folks, drop a like on the video if you don't mind. We would greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, if you're watching us for the first time, welcome. And yeah, consider hitting that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate that. Right now, we have 30 likes. It says we have 42 people in YouTube. So I want to see some more likes. Let's get to at least 40 likes on this video. Derek talking about Lamar Jackson saying he's pissing him off. So
who you
while we
telling,
are,
brother?
you said what now?
I said, who you telling, brother? Who you telling right now?
So thoughts on the NFL season, Conrad? What are you looking forward to? Is there a game that you got circled on your calendar? Are you in fantasy leagues?
I'm in a fantasy league right now. That's why I was very upset. I'm looking. So the only points I have right now are from Butker as my kicker. I picked him because I was like, he should get some good field goal points because usually KC will score every single time. But I got Andrews as well as the tight end for Baltimore, and I'm like, what are you doing to me, bro? You're crushing me right now. But yeah. But he's got the person I'm playing's got Lamar Jackson and KC's running back. So yeah, it's hard times out here. I'm a Bills fan though through and through. So that's my team. That's who I support. I just went to the last preseason game.
Was that
It was Kids Day.
Have they done the new stadium yet?
No, it's still being worked on. It's like right across the street from that one.
Okay.
So yeah, they're it was crazy trying to get down there. If you ever go for Kids Day, go early. Make sure you go early. But I think your kids would enjoy it, especially your son.
Yeah. I gotta get him. There.
He's starting to pick teams. He got a favorite team yet?
Well, I mean, he's his father's son, so he's a Bucks fan.
Okay.
And a Clemson Tigers fan, and there was a point on a Saturday where he looks at me. He's like, "Dad, they can come back, right? They can come back." And I just looked at him. I was like, "No, it's over."
You had to let him down.
I had to let him down. I was like, "Man, this is the gift and the curse of being a Clemson fan." See, he was born at a time where Clemson was just on top, and they were in the championship or in the playoff every year. And now it's the last few years, and it's like, man, this is reminiscent of old times. But you know what? I'll take what I can get. It's just the first game. It's not a conference game. That's what I keep telling myself. So, James saying, is NFL fantasy any good? I was looking into it, but he doesn't know anything about it. It is very fun, James, I would say.
It's fun in the respect of I like it better than baseball, football. I don't know if you ever done fantasy for those, but it's annoying for those because there's so many games every week, and you're like, dude, what? I need to switch who? They're off this week. They're injured. You got to really pay attention to those. And I'm sure soccer's the same way, I would imagine. But yeah. What was the other one? Thoughts on the dynamic kickoff? I don't mind it. I mean, it's trying to protect players.
Yeah,
I figured because listen, when me and Jeff played football, it was headhunter days back then. You ever play Madden hit stick? Like that's what people were trying to do. Like take them out.
Yep. Take them out. So when you watch film, you could be like, see that?
Yeah. Sometimes you get scary ones too, man. I watched my brother one time. He hit someone and he hit the guy so hard, like he didn't move for a minute. And my brother was like crying and he stayed next to him the whole time. They called the ambulance and like almost stretchered the dude out. Like, man. He was like, I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just trying. They were like, good hit. Everyone's smacking his helmet. He's not moving. Like, oh,
yeah.
Scary stuff, man. So I'm glad they're taking better precautions with that stuff. And
yeah,
coaches seem a little bit nicer. I used to fear my coaches.
Same.
I'm like, they're nice.
Yeah. We got the Hardys in a backstage promo here. Looks like they want to get back into the tag title picture.
They could do something with ABC and them and maybe two other teams, something involving tables, ladders, chairs.
Yep.
What was it? Full Metal Mayhem, they'll call it.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Have they moved on from the system?
It seems like it. But the question is, has the system moved on from them?
That's the key.
Eric Young.
Tommy Dreamer will get Wrestler's Court, Barry.
Eric Young coming down in the mask.
Deanna said no one wants a nice coach. There's a purpose to it. It works when you're young. It doesn't work now that I'm older. There's a little harder edge to me. That's like I've seen some stuff beat it, but
yeah. I've told my son some stories about football practices and games and some things that coaches said and did, and he's like, "Really? They said that to you?" I'm like, "Yeah," and didn't care that my mom was right in the stands and probably heard every word of it.
Yep. Not a word. Scary moments are when there was no one there.
Yeah.
Man, I'll never forget. I was running 17s one time. If you guys don't know, that's the not the full length, but the other length. But you got to do it 17 times in a minute. And I remember everyone was like 13. I was like 11, 12. I was just lollygagging around. Man, my coach got in my face towards the end. He was like, "You better start moving. Oh, you can run fast." I was touching those lines so fast. You wouldn't believe it. Like, okay, all right. And then I got yelled at, "Why aren't you on my football team?" I'm like, did you just see how you yelled at me? I'm definitely not trying to hear that there. Good old EY.
Yeah, man. Jake something and Eric Young. Eric Young's already in the corner, and Jake something delivering those shoulders. Those shoulders. He's been working on those delts and traps. Punch there by EY.
What have you been thinking about Jake something since his return back to TNA? Like, do you think is he in need of something?
Yeah, I think I don't. They actually just said,
no pun intended. I just realized
say.
what I said.
They just said what I was going to say. I feel like they're still trying to find his place. I think he's a guy that I feel like probably should be in some type of title picture, whether that's digital media, whether that's X Division. I mean, him in the X Division, you just had Hammerstone, and Jake something was having matches with Ali for a bit. I think something like that would be really good for him, but I think it's just finding that right spot. Power bomb from Jake something, and wow, that was tremendous.
I would like to see him like a Hercules Hernandez type spot. Like, I feel like he needs like a gimmick, a chain or something with him.
Yeah.
He comes out in the black trunks. He's all serious. There's no nonsense with it. Even if you put him under like the tutelage of EY or something, you got to give this guy something. I think he needs. I hate that his name is Jake something too, because every time you say it, it sounds like a pun. You got to give him something more to do.
Yeah.
With himself, and what that is, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. John saying I think Jake can be great as a heel and should be teamed with maybe First Class or the System. Deanna saying I think he needs a mouthpiece. Heather saying I have a love-hate relationship with these matches. I love EY and Jake something. Little Silver saying I like it when they paired Khan together. They made a good monster team, but they pulled the plug too soon. Khan and Jake something as a monster tag team would have worked.
Yeah. But
I
then
guess
again,
that's another
there's
question.
something there for Jake something though as a singles too. I feel he's just got a great look.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you if you felt like he needed to do the tag stuff, or if you felt like he was ready for a singles run. EY has Jake something up, and 1, 2, oh, that was close.
Maybe you could even give Diener. I know we keep talking about people being managers or something and stuff. Maybe Diener can get his influence back and do something with him.
Yeah. Max saying Jake reminds me of Bruiser Brody.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was leading to. Big guy. He just looks like a wrestler.
Eric Young picks up the win. Yeah, I agree, man. I think he needs a gimmick change and possibly a manager. There we go. Bonus baby saying, with the passing of Psycho Sid, anyone on the Lord humongous gimmick, Jake something in a hockey mask. Little Silver saying that was a surprising win. Jake something, allowing Eric Young to shake his hand, help him up. Looks like there's some mutual respect being shown. But let's see. Looks like a pissed off Jake something. And Conrad, maybe this is some of the change that we were just talking about. Because this dude right here looks unstoppable. He looks like that switch just flipped. And folks, we promise we do not have a live feed into anything with TNA. We don't know any of the stuff before.
I'm gonna be honest. I only saw one spoiler, and it already happened. So good.
Oh man, no, that's good. That's perfect timing, though, man. Macklin coming down to protect EY.
I wouldn't mind that either.
Me either.
Little Macklin and Jake something.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Max saying if he took on a Brody type gimmick, it would work. EJ Movement saying, well, a heel turn and a face turn at the same time.
He's got the wrestling skills. He's got the intensity.
Mm-hmm.
I just want that little something extra.
Yep.
And with some of these guys' looks too, man, I just can't believe that other people aren't like fawning at the opportunity to get some of these guys.
I know.
Hammerstone included. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Gia talking to Joe Hendry about NXT. Says this is the part where I should go home, but not this guy.
Big Gia fan in the chat, I see.
Oh yeah, James is a big Gia fan. We won't tell Ace Austin. Main event is up next, folks. Moose and JDC versus Mike Santana and Joe Hendry. Who you got? Let us know. What are your thoughts about this one, Conrad? What do you think we see in this one? What do you think we do you think we get anything weird here?
I think we see the excelling of two people on the roster that they need to work into big angles for Bound for Glory. Big time matches for both of them. Joe Hendry especially. I feel like if you're TNA, capitalize now.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
I just watched a special with how he wrote his theme. Joe Hendry is a musical genius for what he did for that. It's very calculated as to why we like it.
Yeah.
Because he wrote the song backwards.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of thought put into how he crafted that and why things fit the way they do. All right, let's see. Deanna saying James is a big fan, period.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Bonus Baby saying, let's expand the WWE TNA partnership. Drew McIntyre getting in Jake something's ear. Okay, real quick here. I give you 3 matches to put together. Can be anyone. It can be any type of match, but 3 matches. What are the 3 matches that you'd want to see if you were doing a main roster WWE TNA crossover? That's for the chat and for Conrad.
Okay. Give me Josh Alexander versus AJ Styles, straight up one-on-one match. I will also take a WrestleMania-esque match between Jordynne Grace and Rhea Ripley. And I'm trying to figure out what tag team I want to do something with. Give me ABC up against the Bloodline. It could be any combination of them. It don't matter to me. It'll be fire.
Heather saying Cody versus Moose. Little Silver saying Moose and Roman Reigns. James saying Roman and Moose. Man.
Battle of the Spears.
Yeah. Bonus Baby. Drew and Jake something. Seth Rollins. Drew and Jake something versus Seth Rollins and CM Punk.
Yeah, Drew and Jake something are probably winning.
Yeah. Fallen Footwear saying Moose versus The Miz. Little Silver saying I saw Moose fight Cody in TNA, just not in WWE. They had a feud back. Yep, they sure did.
Yeah, and I want to ask Fallen, what did Miz do to him? Why would you set Miz up like that? You know, another cool one would be too, just for Legends purposes. I'd like to see EY versus R-Truth.
That would be good.
Just as a little throwback, like 3 Live Crew versus Team Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, PCO and Bronson Reed would be sweet.
Man, do that again.
I love what they're doing with Bronson Reed.
Oh, I do
Fantastic.
Too. I do too. It's like they finally figured it out with them.
He's your earthquake.
Huge. Yeah. Dude is huge. He's a monster. Lean into it.
Yeah.
Let him be destructive. Bonus Baby saying Jordynne Grace versus Jade Cargill. TNA talking about the signing of Heather Reckless. So it looks like they had Giselle through taping. So Heather Reckless versus Giselle Shaw next week.
Okay. I'll take it. I'm going to miss Giselle Shaw. Like,
me too. Me too.
PCO Jonah round 2 would go crazy.
Yes, yes.
Dirty Derek versus Dirty Dom. Y'all better cut it out. Derek talking about some hey Miss Parker over here. This Bernie Mac voice.
Conrad, speaking of doing something different with Ash. Bailey versus Tasha Steelz. I like that.
Honestly, if I'm TNA, I'm trying to hold Tasha Steelz down any way that I can. I'm talking like Tazzy hold you down.
Yeah.
Like, look, I got you. What do we need to do to keep you around here? Because we need you.
Yeah.
And Fallen, yes. Shaw was already booked on those shows, but I think that's where we're going to see Shaw for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to now. Heather Reckless. What do you know about Heather Reckless?
I've only seen her a few times. I forget which shows I've even seen her on, but I've seen her a few times. I really enjoy her work. I liked her style the few times that I've seen her, but I don't know a ton, not as much as most probably.
Yeah, I might have to do some homework.
Ooh. Heather Reckless is there. Like, what did I get myself into? Giselle and Ash by Elegance getting into a little tussle there. Andrew saying Chad Gable versus Josh Alexander, going back to our previous question. And then throwing in Jordynne Grace versus Jade. Christopher saying Jordynne Grace versus Tiffany Stratton.
Yes. I think that could be a future SummerSlam WrestleMania match for people.
Yeah. And folks, Victory Road is actually next Friday. So
they just want me to keep watching wrestling every week, I tell you. Every week they put it on.
So yeah, Victory Road next Friday. And I know we will be on this channel doing that watch along. So come hang out with us next Friday, and remember to stop by Tazzy's on Tuesday. And this is a big NXT. I mean, you've got the Rascals challenging for those tag titles. I'm pretty sure you've got Jordynne Grace's open challenge. There's a lot.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. NXT's gonna have a busy month. I would keep your eyes on it. I tune into NXT periodically, and I caught it this week, and I'm like, I think I might watch it for the next month or so just to stay up on everything. And I'm excited to see what they do when they go to the CW as well.
Yeah. Little Silver saying it's live in San Antonio, Texas, the last stop before TNA Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory is coming up on October 26th from the D, from Detroit.
It's so cold in the D. I don't know if anyone in the chat lives in Detroit too, but I definitely saw some donuts from like Kalamazoo. I saw an apple fritter. It was the size of like someone's hand, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he posted it in our Facebook group, and I was like, "Yo, why on earth is that donut so big?" He was like, "That's the size of them here," and I was like, "Remind me to never go there."
Yeah, for real. Because I will eat them all, and I love apple fritters too. So
yeah, I might. You know what, Jeff? I might send you that picture. I think it's on my gallery.
All right. Hammerstone and Macklin versus Cross and Bronson. Wow. Deanna, I like that one. Mike Santana. Now we get some action between JDC and Moose. They're actually taking the worst end of this against Mike Santana and Joe Hendry. Throwing them to the outside. Oh, look who's coming down the ramp. Look who's coming down the ramp. Josh Alexander.
I'm sure it's just to watch.
Yeah, just just to keep an eye on things, right?
Always.
Good grief, man. Good grief, Conrad. I'm looking at the pictures of these apple fritters right now. I need that.
You better split that with somebody. That's
Split it with myself over a couple days.
you need a big glass of milk.
My kids are gonna split that with me. Little Silver saying, plus the Hardys versus the Motor City Machine Guns at TNA Bound for Glory will sell tickets. Never seen them face each other in TNA.
I don't know what the Motor City Machine Guns are doing. I feel like they've been gone for months. Like, what's the story?
Wow. Yeah.
Who knows though? Maybe they do make one last appearance at Bound for Glory. That'd be cool.
Woo. Conrad, do you think there's a comparison that we've seen before in terms of just kind of the meteoric rise of Joe Hendry? Is there anyone comparable, you'd say?
I would compare it to anybody who gets that cult like following. It's just the key is what are you gonna do with it when it's time? You have to execute, and there is a small window of you missed your chance as well with some people. And I think that just needs to be the. You don't even want to know what I just saw Dango doing. The don't miss your chance with Joe Hendry. That's the best thing I can say to this is you have to get this guy while you can. But I don't know, maybe he's under contract for a long period of time. His relationship is very weird because I feel like he's in NXT and Impact.
Yeah.
Or TNA, excuse me. I just don't get it. Like what's going on with him, and why do I see him more on NXT than on here?
What would you grade TNA right now on how they've handled his star power and his rise? Do you think that they've handled it well? Do you think they should have, put the title on him by now? What do you think?
If you're building to a big moment, I don't judge you so much for it. But if you're waiting just to wait, I don't know what you're waiting for. He's at his peak popularity. I know that you paid a pretty penny for Nick Nemeth, and I get it, but make it happen with Joe Hendry. To me, Joe Hendry and Josh Alexander are the two right now that people are focused in on. And sometimes when they pull the titles off, people I don't understand. Like Alex Shelley, I thought it was a little early when they did it for him. I thought Moose dropping it was kind of premature as well. But maybe plans had changed based on people getting hot.
Yeah.
But like I said, with TNA, it's so much easier to just sit back and watch.
Just watch, yeah.
I don't have to hear people chirping in my ear and telling me how this sucks.
Yeah.
That's not even the same house. Oh, goodness. How many times are the Wyatt Six going to beat American Made? I don't want to hear none of it. Just let them book. If they're cooking, let them cook.
Yep, let them cook. Joe Hendry was just cooking right there, but he caught that boot from Moose.
Yeah, that size, I don't know what Moose wears, probably a 14, 15.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
Joe had Moose up in that suplex for a bit. It's not a small man.
No, Joe Hendry's got to be what's the standing ovation? You got to be a strong person to hold that.
Yeah. Yeah. Alicia Edwards at ringside and distracting Joe Hendry. Mm. Moose knocking Mike Santana off the ring apron. I still say you can't trust JDC. Like
No.
I don't care. I don't care how well it looks like they're working together right now, because it does look like they're working together pretty well. However, I don't trust them. I guess my question would be, do you think there's enough time? Because I feel like Bound for Glory, unless you wait until the beginning of the year for whatever reason, but I feel like Bound for Glory is a time to maybe put Joe Hendry in that picture again. Somehow, some way.
I have two things on my mind for a couple. I feel like Joe Hendry's either going to make this like a triple threat or a four-way with Nick Nemeth. But on the other hand, I could see them saying like Joe Hendry will feud with the System. Meanwhile, Nick Nemeth will defend his championship against Josh Alexander again. I don't know.
If you're booking that 4-way though, who's in that 4-way?
Give me Nemeth, Hendry, Moose, and Josh. Yeah, give me Josh. That those four make the most sense. But they just did the 6-pack though, so I don't know. And then we got to find something for Mike Santana to do.
Mm-hmm.
What's he gonna do?
Do you put Joe Hendry over if you do that 4-way?
If it was me, yes.
Yeah.
If I had the pen, I'm giving him the championship for now and letting it see where it takes us. But like I said, they've been selling out. I really can't complain what they're doing with the booking.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike Santana with the kick to Moose to his grill. Same for JDC.
Moose and them crack me up with this like this pro America outfits they've been wearing. Yeah. I feel like watching an 80s movie every time.
I know. Wow. JDC over the top rope into Moose. Mike Santana standing tall in the ring. Joe Hendry's now talking to Joe Hendry and Josh. Joe Hendry, you got to protect the McNuggets, man. I know that was.
You got to protect the tendies.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Mike Santana now taking out Josh Alexander. So there's another match that I really want to see. Santana talking a little trash to Alicia. JDC trying to hold Mike Santana until Moose got over there with that pump kick. Now let's see. James said his poor yam bags. Spear by Moose. 1, 2, 3. The System. All right, so Moose, does he have the best spear in the business?
Oh, that's tough to say. There's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good ones.
I like Moose's though. I usually prefer the football player spears, if that makes any sense. Like
Yeah.
if you got it, you've got it. And that's
Yeah.
no disrespect to like Adam Copeland or anyone, but it's just believable. Like when Roman's soaring through the air, I'm like, oh no, that's a tackle. You're gonna feel that. Moose's is good too, though. I like the flip through on it too. No jackhammers needed. Great name.
All right. Nick Nemeth in the back saying, not too bad, Moose.
So good.
Nick Nemeth talking that talk right now.
It's all because of JDC for the win. Yeah, Ricky Starks isn't bad. I'll put him up there with Adam Copeland. I still, like I said, I still like the football player guys, though. It's something different about it.
Another underrated one was Bobby Lashley.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And his was similar to Moose's. His doesn't look as pretty as Moose's, though. He kind of just tucks and rolls.
Yeah.
But I think Moose might have him for some age. But Bobby Lashley's ageless, though.
Yeah, he is, man. He really is. I forgot that he was 47 or 48.
Yeah, I didn't believe it the other day. I thought he was like 49, 50, and I looked, I was like, oh, he's a little younger than I thought. Okay.
Crazy.
I'm looking forward to see what he does next. And like I said, TNA ain't a bad spot for him either if he wants to come here.
Exactly. Wouldn't mind seeing him back in TNA.
All right. Gore.
James. So, all right, folks, give us your scores for tonight's show. It ended up pretty good. I like that there by Nick. Shooting his shot, talking his talk to Moose. So let's see if we get Moose and Nick Nemeth again. Run that back. But give us your scores. Conrad, just want to go to you real quick, man. Give me your score for tonight and what stood out to you most.
I'm gonna rock with a nice 7.75 for the show. I thought that they did a good job showcasing their champions, even alluding to some of the things that we were talking about, and then like immediately after getting to it, like showing some different character work. I know they're building up to one of their lower shows, but still going to be good. I think Victory Road's got a lot happening for it right now, and the build to Bound for Glory continues in Detroit.
Yeah, it was a good show. I'm gonna read off some scores here. Heather, before I get to the scores though, Heather saying, why does Nick have such cool gear that he doesn't sell on PWT?
You know, I had a buddy ask that a long time ago about him and Cardona. Why do they wear the gear that they wear? And no answer.
Yeah.
I think they said because it's cool. And that was their answer to him. And he was like, okay.
Heather is saying 8.75. Derek saying 9. Chris saying 9. John saying 9. 9 for Christopher. Hassan with a 7. 9 for Christopher again. 8 to 8.5. Saying bonus baby. 10 for Andrea. 9.5 for Mac. Damien is in the house saying 8 out of 10. Swag fan saying 9. I think I'm gonna kind of go in the middle there of everyone and say 8.5. I thought it was a good show. A lot of stuff that we're seeing right now for the build to Bound for Glory, but obviously we're going to get to the last stop on that destination. You know, we're going to get to Victory Road first, which is already next Friday. So Um, Barry Monkey saying 7.5. Felt a bit rushed at times though. Good show, but felt a bit rushed at times. Um, I think sometimes having these specials so close to other specials or pay-per-views, it can do one or two things. You can put something out there that feels a little more rushed because you're trying to build up for that next special, or you find a happy medium to let it breathe. And there were a couple things tonight that I wish they would have let breathe a little bit more. Um, I wish the Josh stuff, maybe with Joe Hendry and Mike Santana, maybe would have bubbled over next week instead of this week. Um, but other than that, I mean, I thought again, good show, really good show. One of the more consistent shows I think on TV out there from week to week. Like Conrad mentioned a few times earlier, it's not as predictable, and you can just sit back and enjoy it. You don't have a ton of people arguing over the booking and all of that stuff. We're here enjoying it, and that's what it's supposed to be. And it makes it a lot more fun when it's that way. Um, so yeah, I thought tonight was good. Again, next Friday is Victory Road. So even though Emergence just happened last week, we're turning around, baby. We're going to Victory Road. And then Tuesday, again, that's going to be a big show with some TNA talent on NXT. So check that out. Conrad, before we get going here, just want to, if you have anything coming up, just promote your stuff, man, and let folks know what you got going on so they can come support.
Well, Jeff, thank you, number one, for inviting me on once again. Like I said, it had been quite some time that some of you probably even seen this ugly mug, but thank you so much for having me on. This Saturday, we are going to be doing an AEW All Out review. We're going to find some time to do that. I've been trying to catch up. I know sometimes I have to push the reviews to Monday, like Bash in Berlin and stuff like that, but we're going to have some time for All Out this week. So if you guys are free after the pay-per-view, head on in. Or if you want to get your Sunday morning started right, have your cereal ready and you can watch it and listen to us talk about the show.
It's awesome, man. What's the match that you're looking forward to most?
Swerve and Hangman.
Yeah.
That's a blood feud, and I'm into it. I don't know who's gonna win it, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. And if I could, I want to take the time to tell people this too. Make sure that you guys are supporting the insiders. Anytime I mention TNA, I always say like these guys have always been a supporter of the company since day one. Make sure you come over here and support Joe and Jeff. If you're a fan of the Wyatt Six, come over here and support. They got a lot of good programs on here. And I actually love the Sunday show too. Doesn't get enough love, man. Come on over for that Sunday show. If you see that they're live, they got some good topics. Jeff gets you involved in the show. He's got a wheel for you. Always got some good topics. So check out their content and check out Tazzy too, man. Tazzy's on every single week. I always try to pop into the chat, show him some love, especially on Tuesdays for NXT. He's kind of my NXT go-to when that show's on to keep me caught up with everything that's happening with that.
Yeah. I appreciate the love, man. And, I just want to say go support Conrad, subscribe to his channel, check out his reviews. On the weeks that I can't watch AEW, if I can't catch it another day or something like that, I'm always watching. I don't always leave comments, but I'm always watching. So yeah, support Conrad. Great to have you on again, man. It had been a while. But really glad to have you on. You have an open invitation. So please know anytime that you have the time to stop by, we'd love to have you. And I know everyone that's watching loves you too, and always see the love in the chat, and that's always good to see. So, so we're a big family that spread across multiple channels. So I love to see it. So, but yeah, there's a lot going on in wrestling. So check Conrad out this weekend. I know I will be. So check them out. Again, Tazzy Tuesday with the NXT watch along. And we'll be here on Tuesday before NXT for Fireflies Forever. We got to talk about what's going on with the Wyatt Six and American Made, and who's going to end up in this match. Because I personally, I really want to see Nikki Cross, just because I want to see if they do some type of different entrance for her.
Best outfit out of all of them. I've always said it. I'm like, oh yes, it's the best outfit. Like, she just works, and I think everyone should take off their mask, and then she's the one who doesn't. What?
Yeah. Yeah, we've been saying that on the show, have her keep that, because she's such a different character, I think, from the rest of the group. So why not have her be different throughout? Just make her completely different, because I think her significance to the story, if you go all the way back to Bray Wyatt's stories about Sister Abigail and what she meant to him and kind of what she symbolized through his life, and you have her now, I just feel like there's some cool things that they can do. And I'm still going to petition for a Netflix series, even if it's a limited series, on the Wyatt Six once they get to Netflix. I'm hoping one day it happens. Not saying it will, but man, do I hope it does.
Netflix still opens doors. I'm telling you.
Yeah. It would be really cool. So all right, so we're about to get off of here, and I'm about to dream about an apple fritter that's the size of my head. Because this thing, man, I got to show this thing.
That is someone's hand with the pinky
someone's
stretch.
hand. That is a massive, massive apple fritter, and I've got to get an apple fritter now. At some point this weekend, I got to get one. James. Yeah, James. So yeah, RK Shuttleworth saying, "Don't tempt me to order an apple fritter. I'm gonna have to go to Dunkin', I think, in the morning and get me one. It's not nearly as big as that one, probably not nearly as delicious, but
half the calories though. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And tomorrow we actually have an event at work, and I'm getting donuts. I don't know if you have them out there, Conrad, but Duck Donuts.
No, we have Paula's out here. Paula's is the staple for the local one. My son just went to there after a tournament. Like, that's where he picked. He was like, "Oh, let's go to Paula's."
Okay. Yeah, we've got Duck Donuts out here too. So we've got Dunkin', but we also got Duck, and they do like some different ones. They have a maple bacon.
Oh yeah, yeah, they have those out here too. Those are quite. I had it one time. It was quite interesting because someone was like, "You got to try it before you start talking mess about it." I'm like, "All right," and I was like, "Oh, this isn't so bad."
Yeah, that's both of my kids. Like, that's their. If I say we're going to Duck Donuts, first thing, maple bacon donut, gotta have it. RK Shuttleworth saying I can get one from Tim Hortons or 7-Eleven.
That's our big one up here. We have Dunkin' too in a couple spots, but everyone's usually Tim Hortons people.
Okay. I've never had Tim Hortons. I might have to.
Do you guys have them out there?
No, we don't. We don't have them out here.
Yeah, next if you ever see one on a road trip, stop there. It's very, very nice. In Canada, they're huge, like they're popular. They have like a Tim Hortons and Lowe's in Canada. I'm like, why? Just because.
Just because they can.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never had it, so I'm gonna have to change that. Little Silver said we have 7-Eleven here too. Barry Monkey says in the UK we have something called terrible quality donuts. It's something you Americans do better. Oh man, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to get me an apple fritter now. So thanks Thanks, Conrad.
I'll wait for the picture tomorrow with the happy face.
Yeah, because I'm gonna send it. But I will say tomorrow I am gonna have a cider donut.
Though that it is, when the chills come out, you got to go to the pumpkin farm and get you one of those donuts.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have a cider donut tomorrow, so that'll be good. Man, it's almost apple picking season, so the kids will be happy about that. That'll be a good Saturday. So yeah. So Conrad, it was fun, man. We got to do it again soon.
Yes, sir.
And everyone in the chat, thank you for all of your comments and all of your thoughts throughout the night. We greatly appreciate it. We're about to head out of here. Again, thank you so much for watching. We will be back. I think we'll actually be back for Sunday. Pretty sure we're going to be here for a Sunday show. So watch the social media. This is why it's so important to hit that post notification bell too, so you know when we go live. We will be here 8:30 on Sunday. So have a great rest of your night, everyone. Have a great weekend. Watch All Out. If you don't get a chance to watch it, check out Conrad's review. It's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to Hangman and Swerve too, because that has me hooked right now. So anyway, have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Yeah.